Yeah, it's obviously been a subject that I've had a lot to do with over the years in both state conference and federal conference contexts. So I guess to start with, what does it mean now effectively? And then what does it mean when we have a federal Labor government again? Firstly, we do recognise that the wording is not different from the 2018 National Conference resolution. So if you recall, at the time of that conference, I wrote a lengthy piece for the AJN, which was fully coordinated with and understood by Penny Wong, who was Shadow Foreign Minister at that time too. And so the understanding of the wording of that was that it was one of the ambitions within the concept of the two-state solution that obviously naturally presumes there will be a Palestinian state if we're having a two-state solution. The question is when and how and should that take place? And you'll recall I spelled out a number of considerations that would definitely form part of making that decision, and that Penny Wong fully acknowledged, there would be a range of things to consider, and that will depend upon the time at which that might be worth considering, like when we're in government, for example, if you're in the Labor Party. But some of those considerations would be, has there been free and fair elections, which we know there haven't been for a long time? And one of the things that I did in strategy group was convince the Howard government to allow me to deploy an Army Lieutenant Colonel to General Ward's team, the US General Ward's team, working with the Palestinian Authority at the time to build an efficacious security sector. And there was a lot of great work that had been going on at that period. We were building all of the, the institutions of a state, a Palestinian state, hopefully being in the model that we would be comfortable with a sound division of separation of powers between judiciary, political spheres, etc., police force that was operating efficaciously, and all of these things. So that was all well and good, but I only got to deploy one officer because the second time around, when we were about to deploy it, Hamas took over the Gaza Strip. And of course, if you're a social democratic party, or if you're any democratic party, as a liberal democracy, you would have to be concerned about supporting statehood for any entity that was completely opposed to elections most of the time. We still don't know if Hamas is actually committed to being involved in an election. Frankly, that's going to be free and fair. But leaving that to one side, you see the fact that no free trade unionism is allowed in the Gaza Strip. You see the fact that they, and in fact, the Human Rights Watch report of 2018 highlighted systematic torture, oppression, the prevention of freedom of speech, repression of political opposition, not only in the Gaza Strip, but also within the areas of the Palestinian Authority. Routine resort to the death penalty in dubious circumstances, the routine execution of gay and lesbian men and women in the Gaza Strip. You've got basically the mistreatment and denial of rights to women. So there's been, a lot of reasons why you would want to say, okay, if we are going to recognise a state, we would want to set some preconditions to that. Being a liberal democratic, social democratic party, you would want to see certain things improved. You would use your diplomatic leverage for that recognition to achieve better outcomes. No one who's got any professional understanding of foreign affairs gives away anything like as significant as a recognition of a state for nothing.